Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over a spoiler-free conversation about what we want to see from the Netflix adaptation of the book Shadow and Bone to the Netflix TV series Shadow and Bone. And if you have not read the books, do not be concerned because this is going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to go over any spoilers from the books. And talking about the books, I want to kick this video off with talking about following the book. I think we can all agree that when it comes to book to movie or TV show adaptations, they come with a varying degree of success. And they also come with a varying degree of following the source material. I'm not saying that they're linked, but, think Hunger Games, I Am Legend, Ready Player One, Divergent, Twilight. They are all over the shop when the movies are compared to the books. But something that I am sure that we can all agree on is that the author of this series of books created a rich and interesting world for the creators of the Netflix adaptation to really draw upon. And people are going to want and love seeing it brought onto the screen. Obviously, it is worth mentioning that when it comes to adaptations, there are some things that books can do that movies cannot. For example, in a book, you are so engulfed in a first person's perspective that you can know exactly what they're thinking or what they're feeling. In a movie, you can't do that. So there will be certain things that need to be changed as they shift the medium that this story is being told through. But I think that we can all agree that as long as the end product is something that resembles its source material, we're all going to be pretty happy about it. And honestly, there is no real good reason to stray too far from that source material. Now, I should probably explain what this book is about in a non-spoiler kind of way for anybody that hasn't read the book. Basically, this book is set in Russia, sometime between the invention of guns and World War I. Somewhere in that period. The main story follows a young teenage girl named Alina, who was a war orphan, but then she joins the army at about 16 or 17. On one of her missions, she enters something called the Shadowfold, which is like a big black fog that covers half of this country. Inside this fog, there are crazy monsters. While inside that fog, they are attacked and some crazy things happen, and she gets taken away to a castle. In the castle, she has to learn how to be a better soldier, and she gets tied up in some political things. She makes some friends, she makes some enemies. It's all very YA tropey, but it's pretty good. And that's a short, brief, non-spoilery explanation of what happens in this book. The next thing I want to talk about is the budget. Now, Netflix has made some insanely popular and successful shows in recent history. And it's no doubt that it's because they are tapping into a fan base that already exists. For example, The Witcher blew it out of the water, was a massive success because the video games and the books drew in so much of a fan base that already existed. They did the same thing with the Winx Club. So I, for one, am really hoping that they are willing to back these shows more. They have shown that they have the ability to be successful because they already have a fan base that they're going to lure in. So I hope that they boost the budget, put the money into it, get better actors, get better sets, get better props, but most importantly, get better CGI. Because as much as I loved The Witcher, I think we can all agree that the CGI budget was terrible. Some of the just things that came up in that show were just Stone Age style CGI effects. And it was fine in The Witcher because The Witcher didn't really rely on magic so much, but in this book, magic has such a huge role in everything. So I'm really hoping that they put the money into it, make the magic look good, make the monsters look good, make the Shadowfold itself look good. And at the very least, just make it better than The Last Airbender. I think we can all agree that as long as it's better than The Last Airbender, then we'll at least feel a little accomplished. Now, when it comes to the casting, I don't really have that many qualms, I don't really have that many requirements or ideas of what I expect people to look like or sound like or anything of that nature. I mean, probably Russian accents would be a minimum because it is set in Russia, but even then, it's not a huge deal. The only thing that really needs to be there and it needs to stand out and be apparent is the chemistry between the characters. There are a few characters that they need to cast that has visual and obvious chemistry. Firstly, it's Mal and Alina. They are childhood best friends, and they grow up and they are everything to each other because they were each other's rock to lean on. So they need to be cast as people that have real chemistry. Because in the book, their chemistry is one of the main things that make the book so fun and engaging. But not only just Alina and Mal, but Alina and Genya, I believe is how you say her name. They also need to have a lot of chemistry, because when Alina is in this like strange place, the only person that is nice to her is that Genya girl, and they develop a real friendship. So they need to have some form of chemistry between the actresses, because if they don't, it's going to be painfully apparent. Next is awesome locations. Firstly, the Fold itself. It is the land of monsters. It is a big, shadowy place that blankets the map. It should be intimidating, it should be exciting, it should be scary, and it should be like epic. It should be something that the viewers are going to love to see and want to spend more time in because of how crazy it is. But not only that, there is the forests, there is the mountains, there is the Siberia where it's all snowy. All of these places, it goes through pains and lengths to describe these things in great detail, and it describes them beautifully. So I really hope that this show has found some iconic places to really do these scenes justice. And then of course there is the palace itself. The palace is so richly adorned, there's just jewels and gold and tapestries and paintings and artistry. The lands are beautifully manicured, everything is built incredibly, there's 2 palaces, there's a city outside of it. Everything is described in minute, over-the-top detail. I really, really hope that they do these things justice. Get us some good, awesome locations. Anyways guys, that's all I got for you today. Nice quick video. If you're new to the channel, I'm all about books, whether it be reading them, writing them, or reviewing them. So please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment down below. Are you excited to watch this show? Are you worried that they're going to butcher it? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and everything else. And as always, thank you very much.